What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris. Welcome back to the Sparkplug channel. I understand it's been a little while. Got a different setup going on. I got today's topic behind us, let's just put it that way. But yeah, it's been a while. I know I haven't been making content. I had something I was working with another company to do. It's been getting constantly delayed, and I'm sick of not making videos for you guys, so here you go. So yeah, I kind of spoiled today's topic. We're talking about the Detroit Pistons. Detroit's been phenomenal as of late. You know, they've won 7 straight. They have a 32-26 record right now, and they're killing the game. Now, during this stretch for the Pistons, they've been just so good on both ends of the floor. They're third in offensive rating and third in defensive rating, and they're really getting out and running in the fast break and playing with an extreme pace because they rank 4th in pace over this 7-game stretch. And I think 60% to 70, maybe even 80% of the credit of this success that the Pistons have had, that's not really a sentence, but you get what I'm saying, goes to Cade Cunningham. He has been phenomenal. He's killing the game right now. You know, he has MVP qualities. He was the #1 overall pick for a reason. We're finally getting to see it. Now, over this 7-game sample size, he's been averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, and he's shooting 45% from 3 on almost 5 attempts a game. Just killing it. And right now, you see it, folks. They're up 6 on the reigning NBA champion Boston Celtics. That's the whole point of today's video. I think Detroit has built such a blueprint for success, and the future is so bright for them. And big part of that is their offseason. I gave them a lot of credit heading into this season for signing guys like Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, all guys that could shoot the ball. We're going to space out for Cade, but also have been around the league for a while and have had experiences and played for more than 2 or 3 franchises. You know, they've been around the league, and I thought that was going to be really impactful, and it has. This 7-game sample size, Malik Beasley is averaging 20 points per game, and he's hitting 5 threes a night on a 51% clip. That is ridiculous, and this is all being done right now without Jaden Ivey. Now, we'll talk about Jaden Ivey a little bit later. Maybe he's going to get lost in the shuffle. I don't really know where his place is with this team in the future, but that's not the point right now. We're talking about this exact moment. And I think a hugely underrated part of this stretch has been how well a guy, like I mentioned earlier, Tobias Harris, has been playing. He's averaging around 19 points a game, and his offensive impact, he's hitting big shots, and he's taking smart shots. He's been extremely efficient. One of their biggest question marks heading into this season, though, was the big man position. Can Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren be the type of guys where they're going to keep this team afloat and be good enough rim protectors, because they're both somewhat undersized at 6'9" and 6'8"? But they most definitely have. Isaiah Stewart, you know, has been so good. You know, the thing I love about Isaiah Stewart is he is what Detroit basketball has always been. And we'll get into what Detroit basketball is, but you know, he's been a guy who's aggressive as hell, whether that means assaulting other players or just being an absolute force. And I think the team culture needs that. It helps build a winning culture, in that the culture that we're not going to take anybody's crap. And as far as Jalen Duren goes, he's been unreal. He's averaging 14 points per game, 13 rebounds over this stretch, shooting 67% from the field. He's been good as just, like, the thing with Jalen Duren is he's never been a bad rim protector. It's just sometimes he would block hunt and he wouldn't be patient. And as of late, we've been seeing him be a lot more patient as a defender, being smarter when he's guarding, you know, shiftier players. That, because, you know, in today's NBA, the big man position is so expanded that you're seeing guys, you know, hitting like 13 moves in the post and then scoring. And Jalen's became a lot more patient defensively, and it's been awesome to see. And a guy I think became grossly underrated, 2 guys actually I think became grossly underrated on this Pistons team, is 2 guys who play similar roles. Asor Thompson and
Folks, I'm so sorry. I know it's Asar Thompson. I don't know why I said Asor.
Those guys, you know, they're defensive first guys. You know, they're about making the right play. And I think Asor Thompson, because of the success we've seen a men have with the Rockets, it's gone very under the radar, but he's been phenomenal. You know, he brings so much energy. He has vibes. You know, he's a good defender. We see him make a highlight play almost every night, whether it's pinning someone off the backboard or throwing down a monstrous slam or even making a good pass. You know, he's always making an exciting play. And for Ron Holland, you know, a guy who came in, wasn't expected to be an efficient player, has been really efficient, and the main calling card of him was his defensive abilities, and we've seen that. He's playing like 15 minutes a night on a playoff team, a team that is the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference with a 32-26 record. And it's just really cool because I was a person who hated on the Ron Holland pick. I didn't understand why you're drafting another guy who can't shoot around Cade Cunningham. But he's and isn't an efficient scorer, but he has been those things this year and really has impressed me. Now, I want to circle back to Cade Cunningham. I think, you know, he's the type of player, and I know you should expect this from a number one overall pick, but I think, with the way his career started with the injuries and with how bad the Pistons were, I think people don't talk about this enough. This dude legitimately, and I'm saying this in a very calm manner because, it's something that I'm very passionate about, but I don't want to explode about. Screw it. Cade Cunningham is a potential, no, not even a potential, a future All-NBA first team and MVP candidate year in and year out. This guy does everything. Everything. He rebounds. He has a good frame. He can score the hell out of the basketball on every place in the court. He's became such a good shooter, and he playmakes at an elite level. Stop disrespecting Cade Cunningham. And speaking of people being disrespected, J.B. Bickerstaff has been the franchise reviver. We saw what he did for the Cleveland Cavaliers, bringing them out of the gutter with that young core. And now look at what he's doing with the Detroit Pistons, embracing the culture of Detroit basketball. That hard-nosed, get in your face, talk trash, but we're going to go out there and we're going to win so we can talk trash. Right now, for me, J.B. Bickerstaff has to be Coach of the Year. And I understand people want to go out there and they want to say Kenny Atkinson. No, it has to be. The Cavs are having this historic season on both ends of the floor, and they're winning so many games. Or the OKC Thunder because, Mark Daigneault has been able to have J-Dub playing the 5 because all his players have been injured this year. They've dealt with so much adversity. I don't care what anybody says. No one in their right mind expected the Detroit Pistons to be anything like what they've been this season. No one expected them to have this level of culture. No one expected them to have players wearing their hearts on the sleeves night in and night out. No one expected any of this from them. At most, people were expecting this to be a team that was going to be in the play-in and going to be a fun, exciting young team to watch. And nobody, and I mean nobody, expected them to be a top 6 seed. Now, back to Jaden Ivey. I don't really know what his long-term role is with this team. I don't know if he's going to be there for the future. But the fact that they've been doing all this without arguably who was their second best offensive player is going to be really crucial come playoff time. They're going to be able to have that guy. I think they should bring him off the bench for the rest of the year. I think Malik Beasley's fit alongside Cade has just been too good to change that. But having Jaden Ivey as your secret weapon is a really good thing for this Detroit Pistons group. Now, let's talk about the whole point of this video, the comparison I want to make. Now, over the last couple of years, there's been teams where, they've came out of nowhere. They've capitalized on their opportunities in the playoffs, and they've surprised a lot of people and made conference finals runs. And I think the Pistons can be one of those teams. And the team I'm going to draw the most comparisons to is that 2021 Atlanta Hawks team that went to the conference final and played Giannis in the Milwaukee Bucks. The reason I'm drawing so many comparisons to this team is because they were a 20-win team the year before and then ended up being the 5th seed, upsetted the Knicks, beat a weak mentally Sixers team that just couldn't get the job done, and then was somewhat competitive against the Milwaukee Bucks, but that's not the point. It's just about getting to where they got. The thing I also want to compare this group to is the Indiana Pacers of last year. Another team that was led by a really good point guard, like that Hawks team is led by Trae Young, and like this Pistons team is led by Cade Cunningham. Had multiple role players around them, capitalized on other teams being injured or depleted, and made a conference finals run. But I think the thing that makes the Pistons different than both those teams is I think the version of Cade Cunningham we have seen this season is better than both that season's version of Trae Young and that season's version of Tyrese Halliburton. Obviously, Halliburton was injured sometime in the playoffs for a bit, but you get what I'm saying. I think Cade Cunningham is the best guard out of those three during those little timestamps, those little periods in time. And I really think this Pistons group can go on a deep playoff run. And I think when it comes down to it, the Pistons are better coached than both those teams. And I'm going to say this right now. If the New York Knicks played this deep Pistons team fully healthy tomorrow in a 7-game series, because of course the Knicks are the 3 seed right now and the Pistons are the 6 seed, they would win. The Detroit Pistons would beat the New York Knicks. I don't care if it's a hot take because that's the company I work for. Just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, but you whatever. And look at them right now. They're up on the Celtics. Tobias Harris with the steal. Marcus Sasser gets hard fouled by the anomaly, Jason Tatum. Man, I love the Detroit Pistons this year. One last thing I want to say is they've been so well managed. Their trade deadline was excellent, and it leaves them with the opportunity this offseason to potentially go star hunting and try to get that next guy to put alongside Cade Cunningham. That's all I got for you folks from the Spark Plug. I'm Chris Lambert. Enjoy the Pistons game. Go out there, get your popcorn. It's going to be a good one. I got to get back to watching it. We'll see you later.